Boom. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. This is the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer, JC, Steve, Alfonso, full crew with you on this somewhat chilly morning. A lot to discuss today. A lot going on. All right. I know we've been talking about this China trade. Well, we had Alibaba earnings this morning, right? So we got to talk about that. It's been a big day for China, and the day just started. All right. So there's that. Let me make sure that we are live. Are we live on YouTube? Is my YouTube not up and running? Let me just double check something real fast. Maybe it could be me. Let me just refresh the page. Make sure we're live here. Okay, we're good. My bad. China, what was I saying? Walmart. Oh my goodness, Walmart. Not great, Bob. Right? What's Walmart down? 7% this morning? Ooh. Talk about that. New guest alert on the show. New guest alert for your bingo cards. We have, I guess, what could be described as JC's Helium Network guy. I'm not quite sure. Josh Heller from LongFi Solutions. He'll be on the show a little bit in a bit. We'll have Sean McLaughlin on the show and Kenny on the show as well. So that is the plan. We got the full crew. I think JC is getting his coffee. Oh, he's back. All right. Let's go ahead, and if you'd be so kind and drop me a like, I'd appreciate that. And just to return the favor, I will bring JC and Steve on the show right now.
All right, we back.
Hey.
I was thinking last night, I don't think people get enough sun in the winter. I don't think people get enough sun in the winter, particularly in the Northeast. Strazza gets plenty of sun, as you could tell.
Take vitamin D supplements.
Yeah, right. That's what I heard I have to do. I'm just gonna go to Florida tomorrow and just get some sun, and then I'll be back on Sunday.
I told you. I was just telling you should come to Florida. I guess you took my advice.
No, we were already going. I guess I hadn't told you yet.
Whereabouts?
Well, actually, that's not true. We didn't know whether we were going or not because we have a million kids and they're always sick and we didn't know.
You're a liar. This is a surprise trip. You just decided. Where in Florida are you going?
Oh, we had been talking about going and but then we weren't sure. All the kids had pneumonia, a whole thing. Mothers are paranoid. You know how it goes. Well, you don't know, but you'll see.
Wait, so you're going to Florida for 2 days, 3 days?
Yeah, I think.
Are we allowed to know where in Florida?
Oh, I'm not going to talk to myself. I can't have all my fans showing up.
It's an enormous state.
Wouldn't he go to Miami?
No, too much.
No,
too
he's
much.
not going to
I'm
Miami.
there to party. I'm there to get some sun. Get some
He's
goodies.
going.
Have everybody leave me the fuck alone. I'll tell
He's
you
going
when
to the West Coast. I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
I might be going to the West Coast. It would be cool to see the Gulf of America. That would be cool.
I hear Tampa is lovely this time of year. That's all I'm saying.
Just with some people who were just in Tampa. Yep.
Or Jacksonville, even better.
If they call it could be the Gulf of Cuba, right? Mexico and America, something like that. Gulf of Cuba, United States, and Mexico. So the Gulf of Cum. You haven't seen that one?
Okay. Have not seen that one.
Oh, all right. Shall we?
Yeah. Okay.
We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average this morning down 1/3%. It's 140 points to the downside, 44,570. S&P futures down the same, about 1/3%. That's 20 handles to the downside. New all-time highs yesterday, by the way. NASDAQ 100 down 1/4% to the downside. That's 60 handles, 22,200. Bond futures up 1/4% for the 30-year bond futures, pushing 115. Crude oil up about 0.5%, 72.40. Copper up 1.5% this morning, 463. Gold up almost a full percent, 29.60, keeps making new all-time highs. Silver up almost 2%, 33.60, with the volatility index at 15.5, remaining somewhat elevated. And over in funny money land, you got Bitcoin up 0.75%, 97,350. ETH up almost a full percent, 2740. Solana up 2%, 172. Then got slammed with the total crypto market cap. Mr. Spencer Israel, 3.51 trillion, and the dollar down again this morning. What stands out from the futures this morning?
Is it any surprise that they're digging in here on the
who's
cryptos? The cryptos.
Is it a surprise? Dude, the dollar's getting slammed, bro.
Thank God.
Thank
That's nice.
God.
Yeah, good. Let's go.
I was explaining to someone, the other day, and they were just like, oh, stronger dollar, good for America, right? No, not so much. Stronger dollar is just harder for everybody. Everybody wins on a weaker dollar, right?
It's the most important chart still, right? So it broke down, turned into a little failed breakout last week, then came, retested from below, and now it's rolling over. So when you look at this chart, it's got 100 written all over it. And then what does that mean? Like, what are the implications for risk assets?
Line go up, I believe.
Well, but it's almost like you could look at international equities. It's almost like they're calling the next move in the dollar. I would be stunned if it wasn't lower.
And metals too, for that matter. Metals too.
Metals, for sure. Commodities in general.
Yeah. So that's what stands out. Weaker dollar, metals are up, silver's up, copper's up, bonds are up, right? That makes sense with a weaker dollar. Euro up, pounds up, CAD up, Swissy up, yen up a lot.
Yeah.
Yen is ripping, right? So yen, dollar's been moving together. I've got a chart here for you, just to remind everybody what's happening here, those dynamics. Throw up slide 2 there, please, Mr. Spencer Israel, the bonds yen chart. So these guys have been dancing together. So if you're looking for a weaker dollar, you're probably looking for lower rates there, and bonds and yen moving up together, right? Ripping together. I mean, the yen's really ripping this morning. How do you feel about that, Strazza?
I think both these lines go up.
Yeah, man, this yen is ripping this morning. Japanese yen up a full percent, making new multi-month highs here, highest level since just after Thanksgiving. We break out above these levels. Now we're talking highest levels since before Halloween. For the Japanese yen. What does that mean for interest rates? It means lower interest rates as far as I'm concerned, no?
Try not to overthink the bond market. Yes, that's
Am I
what I
overthinking the bond market? These two fucking lines move together.
No, you're not.
Am I overthinking it? Like, it seems pretty obvious.
We've talked about it. I'm open to different things in the future. I'm going to trade what's in front of me, and I'm not going to be trading bonds. They won't be my vehicle.
Do you think that these two lines stop dancing together?
Doesn't matter what I think. I don't really know.
God.
I don't know. That would be something new.
Are you going to bet that these lines stop dancing together? Are you going to place that bet?
I'm not, but if it happens, again, my head's not going to fall off. I'm not going to be surprised.
Right. I would be. My head might fall off. Yeah. My head just might tip over.
I'm ready to talk about BABA whenever you guys are ready to talk about BABA.
So if the dollar falls apart, BABA's the biggest winner?
It's been the biggest winner without the dollar falling apart. This thing's up we're going on 100%.
I'm saying. So then the answer is yes.
That's a lot of market cap, JC.
Throw it up. Make them happy. We're here to make Steve Strazza happy. That's part of my
It's not a small stock.
I do a really good job of making Steve Strazza really happy. Up 11% pre-market, by the way.
Yeah, and guess what? It's dragging up the whole crew with it. JD, PDD, VIPs, the Baozun, that one's back. And it's just great numbers. Up so 33% EBITDA growth in the cloud business, 13% cloud revenue growth. Net income was up a couple 100%, and then 8% top line growth. When you look at the estimates looking forward, about 9% revenue growth in 2026, 37% EPS growth, 23% free cash flow growth. This becomes a gross margin story because they're just doing more and more things in AI.
How gross are those margins? Are they really gross?
39%, 40%. It's incredible. 15% EBIT margin. So they even said on their call that like their pure focus right now is they called it artificial general intelligence. That's a new one for me. But yeah, the reversal's in, and we talked about it. We said yesterday, I said, boy, it's got to be a really good report at this point, right? Because the market's priced in good news here. They were front running this thing. So it had to be good. Knocked it out of the park. Grand slam.
Can you please throw up slide 4 and then we'll go to 5? So this is a big one. This is, to me, is it the biggest story? You know, we can argue whether it is or whether it isn't, but man, it's got to be a big one. It's got to be a big one. Facebook went up 20 days in a row, every single day after Zuck got caught looking at Bezos's fiance's cleavage. Went up every day for a month, every day, not a single down day. And despite that stock being the largest holdings of the U.S. Internet Index, Chinese internet is ripping. Despite all of that strength in Facebook, Strazza, like that's really impressive, no?
It's great. That's really funny too. The tide is turning. These relative trends are changing course after a very, very, very prolonged downtrend. When we're talking about the international relative trends, we did like a special Twitter Spaces about it last night, all about the relative trends. People have gotten too used to these relative trends. U.S. over the world, large or mega over small or mid, growth over value. All these things, they've gone on for a really long time. So people are probably not positioned like appropriately. It's not that the bull market is ending. It's that it could change drastically and require some serious repositioning, right? As we get into the later innings. And we've seen it before. It gets real risk on out here. It becomes more of a stock picker's market. You don't want to be in the indexes. You want to be in the individual names. There was a comment. There's a ton of comments today about two stocks in the chat. Everybody's either talking about Alibaba or Palantir because the price action couldn't be more different just over the past 2 days, right? So we get a big red candle in Palantir. People are taking profits. I think somebody said in the chat, I wish my Baba position was as big as Palantir. You've probably been in Palantir for a while. You probably bought the primary trend reversal. You should be feeding the ducks, taking profits,
Before we get into America, can I just show one more chart and then we can come back to America? Stay in China for one more slide. Can you throw up that next one there, Mr. Spencer? Look at this guy. Do we really think that this thing's going to complete a massive top in the middle of a bull market just as China's getting going and it's going to completely collapse? Like, is this thing such a scam that even if China's ripping and everything out and China's working, even the Chinese think that this is a scam? Or is it just left for dead and it's about to triple?
I'm going to be so long Baidu calls, probably like by the close today. But I'm just waiting for one green candle out here.
I was going to say, like, what you got to...
one green candle.
It just won't go up, though.
One green candle. I got my VWAP sitting here ready.
But you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
logically, if China rips into the coming quarters, right? And this China reversal's real, and all these trades that have been crushing it for us keep working. In theory, this should work also. Arguably playing catch up might even do even better. In theory. Now, the counter to that is that this thing is just such a scam that the Chinese are like, we're okay with scams, but this is too much for us, even for us. And it completely falls apart while the rest of China goes. You think that there's any chance that that latter scenario happens?
Of course. There's always a chance, but it's not a good chance, right?
How low of a probability do you think that is?
Oh, dude, it would be like Google rolling over and dying while the Mag 7's ripping. I really think it's the same thing. This is a valuation story, right? This one, they're really down and out still on the Baidu. Sentiment hasn't shifted. They had a big meeting of all the tech CEOs out in China, meeting with the president. Baidu didn't show up. Like, it's not good stuff, right?
Dude, you know what the market cap of this piece of shit is? Don't look.
It's probably like 50 now. It's probably pretty small.
30.
30? It's crazy. You're getting the Google of China. 11 times earnings, something absolutely ridiculous. And it's not just a Baidu specific story. The valuations on these things are just crazy. So there's such a long runway. Alibaba's trading at 12 times 2027 earnings. It's just crazy.
Well, hold on. Did you just say 12 times 2027 earnings? You know, it's 2025, right?
Mhm.
So people put multiples on earnings estimates from 3 years out. Like that's like a real thing.
They're growing their earnings per share at 30-40% year over year. I want to look out and know what this company's
Is
earnings.
that like the what is that?
based on
The
future.
GARP? Is that like a GARP?
JC, isn't the
What the
market
market is what the
forward
market
looking?
does.
Is the market should be forward looking, right? Shouldn't we look into the future?
Yeah, shame on
I
you.
mean, an earnings. First of all, I think valuations are a distraction. Period. So I find the whole thing hilarious. But the fact that we're putting multiples on earnings 3 years from now is just ridiculous.
2 years.
Harbinger makes a great point. Like, stick
3
with the
years.
leaders. A catch up isn't promised, right? It's not guaranteed, for sure, right? Like Baidu could stop working, something terrible could happen. I don't know. I don't see it though. I don't think it's the bet you want to make. But would you rather? How about this question back to you? Would you rather buy this pattern or Baba's perfect, beautiful textbook trend reversal?
Man, you know I love this pattern.
I know.
Like me personally, like this was the consumer discretionary relative before it ripped from last summer, right? Like it was the same chart.
Yeah.
No?
Sorry. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, which
I
one?
love this pattern. Doesn't this look like Nike, Disney?
You'll take this over Baba. You're taking this over the Baba.
Am I taking this over the Baba? I mean, I'm long both, right? Like, I mean, I got them. I'm in the FXI. Like, I got exposure, but in terms of like,
You got to pick one.
yeah, I've just kept it simple with this one. You've been all over the individual names. We're doing different things, obviously, but if I had to pick one over the other, man, I really like this one because the risk versus reward is so piss poor. Like, in terms of the amount of risk is just like so little compared to the potential upside. Like you're looking at a 4-bagger, just getting back to the former highs.
Yeah. 92 is my level. I'm in at 92. I mean, I'm already in, but I'm gonna trade this thing. I'm getting so long calls.
All right, let's come back to America. If you could throw up that slide 3 there, Mr. Spencer. Here's the bearish.
American stocks, they're just not doing it for me these days. Ugh,
Here we go.
How boring. Double top. Terrible. Rollover alert.
Hold on, this is a good question. T-Man says, I thought JC don't buy ETF. All right, caveman. JC don't buy ETF. No, it depends on the strategy. Yeah, first of all, I own ETFs. I feel like I've always owned ETFs. Number one. Number two, for certain things, no, we don't want to trade ETFs. But FXI trades like a stock, you see, because of the beta there. FXI, like we treat it like a stock. It's on like the naughty list where, we kind of try not to sell naked puts. Like, I treat it like a stock, right? Strazza, is that right? Is that accurate?
Here's the other thing, and I've written pretty extensively about this just since last year. China, like I like to build baskets. There's a lot out there in terms of Chinese equities. Like there's just a lot of options. So it might be for the less active trader or investor, it might be a great option, right? As a way to express a theme rather than have to go out and buy 20 individual stocks. You could think of the K-Web as the NASDAQ 100 of China. You're just getting all these big tech stocks. It's basically a momentum index.
K-Web is the NASDAQ 100 of China. That's cool.
It's not bad. It's a good index. It's built the same way, right? So
I'm into it. Are these double tops in the United States? Is that what's going on here? Are these massive double tops, and now the crash that they've been telling us for years finally here?
I mean, what are you going to do if they are? Get out.
What am I going to do if
1,000 points, more than 1,000 points lower?
More than 1,000 points lower in what?
Yeah, if they're double tops, they got to break the pivot lows. And by the time you get down to the pivot lows, these things are going to be clobbered and so oversold. They'll probably be failed tops. So I don't know.
2,000 points above those pivot lows, by the way.
Right. Oh, I was looking at the wrong axis. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a long ways away. But I mean, this is the bearish narrative right now. Is that that market breadth is weak. Obviously, if you haven't counted, you think that market breadth is weak. So that's pretty psychotic, but that's okay. So market breadth is weak, momentum divergences, and this is a massive double top, and you perma bulls are going to get what you deserve. You'll see.
Oh, I got a good one for you. Perma bulls. How about perma bears? So can I go back to China?
Please.
Alibaba, the street high price target is 155. We're basically there. Analysts are going to have to chase this thing up. So now what you're going to see, this happens all the time. You got the big earnings bang, right? And now all the analysts are underwater. So they're just going to run this thing higher. Come out tomorrow, you're going to have 8 price target upgrades. Spencer knows all these price hikes, and you'll get probably a couple days of follow through. And this thing is already, I mean, I can't buy this here. I'm already in it, thank God. But it's already overbought like crazy. So, wow, really good.
All right, how about this one? This one, throw up slide 2. It's a little blurry, but you guys get the idea.
Metuan.
So this is, when we put up the chart, that people are so bearish. In fact, why don't we throw up that one first? So these are individual investors. You throw up this one first.
That's not a bearish chart.
Wait, no quiche?
Quiche?
Where's the quiche?
What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought we were looking at the cash chart.
Oh, no, we are. We're about to.
Okay.
So you got individual investors, the most bearish since Q4 of 2023, when they were telling you that like Black Monday was coming and all this stuff. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was so good. Black Monday. Get the fuck out of here. So obviously we went on to have one of the greatest periods in the history of the United States stock market immediately after these losers were telling you that Black Monday was coming and this crisis and all this stuff. They were just making things up to scare you. And some of you were dumb enough to listen. So here we are. And those same people are just, I mean, what are people so scared about? Literally, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 and the German DAX and the All Country World Index are all hitting new all-time highs.
JC, don't you understand by now that all-time highs do make people nervous?
Good. Fuck them. So here we are making new lows. So the most amount of bears since 2023 among individual investors, which is like mind-boggling to me. So then the counter argument that I've been receiving, not that I agree with it, but the counter argument is the cash levels, right? So these is the Bank of America Fund Manager Survey. Throw up that cash or the quiche, right? So low levels of cash and fund managers are all in, so there's no one left to buy, and here comes the stock market crash. What I'd like to point out is that we are at the same levels of cash. So in other words, very low cash levels for fund managers. Money's being put to work. So we are at the same levels that we were in 2004, which is a great time to be buying stocks. 2011, great time to be buying stocks. 2013, great time to be buying stocks. So as it turns out, historically speaking, when these fund managers have very low levels of cash, it's very consistent with a bull market. And I don't know if you heard, but it's a bull market. The bigger thing is when the cash levels are really high, when the fund managers are super pessimistic. That's the signal. The fact that they're putting money to work in a bull market is not a signal, as we see here. I don't know why people are using this as a reason to sell all their stocks. Doesn't make any sense to me. Any thoughts?
Because I think it's the logical next step. This chart is marked up to tell a very different story than the one that you just told, to be fair, right? This chart is marked up with circles at peak cash levels that marked bottoms in the stock market.
Correct.
So you could take that reasoning and flip it on its head and think that trough readings, it's gone now. That trough readings in this chart might correspond with peaks in the stock market. No? What are we doing here? We're playing musical chairs?
No, but they're not. They don't correspond with peaks. We know that.
Okay. Well, you get the point that I'm making.
No, but the point I'm making is that troughs in this do not signal tops in the stock market. It's
counterintuitive, is what I'm saying.
Well, go look back at other moments in time where fund managers have had this little amount of cash. They've been great times to be buying stocks.
So in 2021, when market internals peaked, the last time we were down at these cash levels. Okay.
No, it's more the signal when cash levels are super high, like April of 2020.
Fine.
Great time to be buying stocks. October 22, great time to be buying stocks, right? October 2016, great time to be buying stocks. Like, is when the cash levels are super high and these guys are scared shitless. That's the signal. When they're putting money to work in a bull market, that's just what they do in bull markets, is my point. Right? No?
We got Kenny?
Am I having audio issues? Is it me?
I don't know.
All right. Sorry, guys.
We'll figure it out.
No Kenny yet.
Is it me, Spencer? How's my audio? Are we doing okay?
No, you're okay.
I'm okay. All right.
Spencer, did we hit on all the news that we should talk about? Do you guys want to talk about the new Apple phone?
Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart. You know, throw up the Walmart chart. Crazy to think that maybe they give a little back in this one. This is a parabolic uptrend for staple stock, by the way. What more do you want? What more do you want? Looks like a great place to take profits.
Dude, you know that if you go to peopleofwalmart.com, you can sort by state.
Oh my God.
So if you just want to look at the people of Walmart, like in Alabama.
Oh God. What is
or
wrong?
You know what I mean?
You talk about how busy you are, and then you say things like this.
Look,
First of all, the reason the internet was invented was for websites like the peopleofwalmart.com. That's why the internet was invented. The fact that we use it for other things is cool, but that's why it exists.
You think so?
And porn, but you know, definitely the Walmart of the
true digital essentials.
Well,
People of Walmart.
I'm telling you what it is. You don't have to like it. It's just facts only.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Listen. So this is a nice arrow in the quiver for the Bears here this morning, right? Walmart is an economic bellwether, right? It's like the largest private employer in America. It's it's either one or it's two in terms of consumer spending. It's Amazon and Walmart, like the 1-2 punch, right? So when Walmart says stuff, you know, it matters for the larger picture here. So their quarter was fine, right? The Q4 was all right. The numbers were above estimates there, but it was the guidance that was not great.
Was it really that bad though, Spencer? Was the guidance really that bad? The stock's kind of getting killed. For Walmart, this is a big move. I think it's all baked in the cake. All the good stuff is in there. The guide was what, a little bit light?
Yeah, the guide was light. The guide was light for the quarter and for the year, right? They guided sales growth guidance, which was like they said 3 to 4% versus a 4% estimate, right? EPS forecast was light. Revenue forecast. I don't actually know if they gave a revenue for they gave EPS forecast, and that was light again for the quarter and for the year. So they talked about economic uncertainties, yada yada yada. You know, I think we shouldn't ignore this. It's Walmart. If this was Dick's Sporting Goods, I would say, like, who cares? But it's Walmart, right?
Walmart was up like 100% since the fall 2023 lows. This thing doubled.
Let's give a shout out to
right? So
Jeff Mackey. Jeff Mackey talks about how Walmart and Target are literally 99% the exact same company, except Walmart does a great job and Target does not. But he says if you wanna like know what how the economy's doing and what the consumer's doing, like Walmart, Amazon, these are the companies that you want to look at. And Walmart might be a consumer staple. He thinks that's bullshit. Walmart, Amazon, period.
Why is it sad that they're the biggest employer?
For people who are bearish,
they're the biggest employer in the United States. Walmart,
private employer, I believe so.
The government, yeah.
Oh yeah, the government. Well,
right.
Not for long.
No, but like in all seriousness, if you're bearish, this one's for you, right? Because this one, you know, could it be nothing? Yeah, it could be nothing. It could just be Walmart, you know, having a bad quarter or forecasting a bad quarter.
I don't even think it was bad. I don't think it was bad. I think this one's just overcooked from a sentiment standpoint. It hasn't been at this much of like an extreme on the price chart in 25 years. And like I said, it's doubled.
Also, JC, Walmart can't be a staple because look at the chart.
Walmart is a staple.
This isn't a software company,
but it's not behaving like a staple.
It certainly is not.
So therefore it's not a staple.
So Costco's not a staple either. Philip Morris isn't behaving like a staple.
Yeah, don't we talk about all the time?
Walmart represents 10.3% of the consumer staples index, more than Procter and Gamble.
Yeah, but it's about how investors traders treat it, right? Not what it is.
Walmart has a higher weighting than Coke and Pepsi combined. That's how much of a stable it is.
Bitcoin is just a bunch of numbers on a in on the blockchain somewhere, but it behaves like a software.
It's a decentralized ledger,
right? But we treat it like it's a software stock, right? So the market is treating Walmart not like a staple, like.
And what about Costco? How's the market treating Costco?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Also,
So-
not like a staple.
yeah. Same idea. Same idea.
Costco, largest weighting in the consumer staples index.
Okay.
By the way.
Anyway,
I just want to shout out. Hold on. Alex Karp, and the Hot
yeah.
Corner. And there's a reason why we don't track stuff like what's going on with Alex Karp in the Hot Corner. We could not care less. I did sell more Palantir shares yesterday, and it has nothing to do with the fact that Alex Karp changed his share sale plan.
I was hoping
No one cares. He should be selling stock. These guys are so overexposed to their own stock.
He should be selling stock.
He's not taking profits here. That's crazy. So good for him.
Yeah.
JC, do you want to introduce our next guest? Josh, you want to?
Yeah, we are. Strazza, I want you here for this one because you have a lot of questions that I don't have answers for, and this man right here has the answers. I'm fortunate. I get to have like a lot of conversations with a lot of smart folks behind the scenes. That we don't air publicly, and like I just get all this information that nobody else gets to see. But we have all these questions about helium and about everything happening in the world today, and it's changing really fast, and a lot of things happening really fast, and it's really hard to keep up. But for somebody who's doing this every day, they can kind of inform us. So I really wanted to bring him in so he could tell us what the hell is going on out there.
Yeah,
I thought it was fair.
Yeah, no, this will be great.
All right, bring him out.
Okay.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Josh.
Hey, man.
What's going on?
Dude, I'm freezing my butt off in Texas. I'm built for 95 degrees and 100% humidity, and we touched freezing this morning, so I'm trying to stay warm.
It's been pretty freaking cold out here to myself. I'm not gonna lie. Does the cold affect the helium mining operation at all? Is that a thing that you need to consider or no?
I think it helps. Keeps it cooler. We don't run quite as hot. A little more efficient.
And what if you guys just get covered in snow? Does that matter or no?
As long as it's not too cold. Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, I think it helps more than it hurts, to be honest.
What's the level? What's too cold?
-20. -20 is too cold.
-20 is too cold. All right, sorry, Canada. All right, so I wanted to bring in Josh here. We have so many questions about helium and then just like crypto mining and everything like that, and we're going to get into all of that. But why don't you set the stage and explain how, you and Andrew were working at ExxonMobil, smart engineers doing the thing, and you were like, nah, we don't want to do this anymore. We want to go mine cryptocurrencies, right? Can you start there, and then we'll get into the world today, please?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you make it sound pretty dramatic, but yeah, we were working at ExxonMobil.
That is pretty dramatic. Just piecing out an Exxon to go mine cryptocurrency. It's pretty, it's pretty aggressive. I like it though.
Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, Exxon, we had a great experience. Was doing a lot of drilling, kind of oil exploration stuff, and big heavy capex company, right? Lots of like expensive infrastructure. Was always kind of drawn to some of the proof of work like Bitcoin and Ethereum mining that was really popular in 2017, 2018, where you could build your own rig, so to speak, and was always really interested in that. And you'll kind of find in general that, especially in Bitcoin mining, there's a lot of ex-oil and gas people. So I don't think I'm necessarily the first one to kind of go in that direction. There's a lot of analogies to commodities and like resource extraction and crypto mining, which is probably why people use the mining thing. But yeah, we started getting into, at the time, it was a new project called Helium. Probably can talk about that later. It was kind of a hobby turned into a side hustle. And then we were making more money doing that than we were sitting at a desk at Exxon. And so what we realized was, though, that the way in which you could build infrastructure could be a lot cheaper and a lot less expensive in the right situations. And there were some advantages that crypto offered in terms of capital formation, making things easier, more accessible, and realized that this sector was probably going to percolate into other areas. And today there's a much broad kind of, helium was like one of the only ones back, in 2019, 2020, but now there's like a whole ecosystem of kind of decentralized infrastructure plays.
Yeah. So how fast does this stuff move, Josh? Like helium was the hot thing to mine last cycle. Is there something else now? Are you doing other things besides helium?
Yeah, actually, it's interesting because I think several of these projects have been trying to figure out their go-to-markets and their product market fit. And Helium has pivoted. They started with a more of like a low-powered sensor network for things like door switches, soil moisture analyzers, but really didn't find the demand, like as much demand as they were hoping for those products in terms of data, and kind of pivoted into consumer cellular or mobile, because as the telcos started pulling back on CapEx, interest rates got higher, there wasn't as much investment in infrastructure. And there's been a lot more openness to more of a shared infrastructure model where companies are basically, as you know, like when you're using your cell phone, you may or may not always be on your cell phone company's like cell tower. And so there's a whole market of offload where people are using other people's infrastructure. And Helium has gotten into that as well as others. And so actually Helium is still a pretty big project for us. It's just more focused on, fixing cell phone dead spots, areas where you have like overcapacity of coverage and things like that.
All right, so I want to talk about the state of Helium, what it was, what it is, where it's going, and then I want to talk about other networking infrastructure plays and stuff like that. Strazza wants to know about his Nebra and what he should be doing with it.
So
we took it. I can't figure it out. We got locked out or something. He says I need another one. I don't know. I'm about to take this antenna down. Should I?
Yeah, well, I guess the thing is that they kind of changed the kind of antennas that they're focused on. So yeah, the Nebra was part of the old sensor network. Now you kind of have to now that you're using Wi-Fi, cellular data over Wi-Fi, so it's a different one. I think a little bit, back in 2021, things got a little bit overheated in terms of the supply chain. So there was
these were expensive. We were buying these online. Remember, JC? They got real expensive. They were having auctions for them back then.
It was crazy. They were going for a crazy amount of money. You couldn't get them. And so things probably got a little bit overheated. And so I feel like there are some people that kind of came in probably in 2022, early 2023, maybe even they felt a little burned. But what's good is that I think a lot, Helium included, has really kind of figured out their go-to-market. And there's a lot of really exciting things ahead of us at the moment.
So is there new equipment?
Hold on. How many Helium miners do you guys have right now?
We probably manage over 1,000, kind of a combination of the old sensor ones, but now mostly focused on the Wi-Fi cellular type devices. And we're primarily focused in the US, but we're doing a lot of stuff in Mexico as well. So Mexico, Oaxaca has actually been a really, really big market for us most recently.
Is this something that you would even recommend that just a normal person or a retail person like me tries to do myself, or is it better off to just invest with a company like you guys? Because isn't it a situation of scale, and it's not even just about having to get the new equipment and have it set up, but I don't mind much. I'm down in the Florida Keys. You need all the other miners around you. It just doesn't seem like a good setup for me. I don't know if that's probably the case for most people.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. I think there's two sides of it. If you're kind of a little bit of a techie person, you have a small shop, maybe a small coffee shop or something, it is probably accessible enough that you could probably figure it out, set it up, improve the cell coverage in your coffee shop. But as you kind of get into more shopping centers or offices or event spaces, it starts to get definitely a lot more complicated, especially now that they're really trying to focus on improving cell coverage, and there's just there's interferences and other stuff. So yeah, I think it can be accessible to the right person, but I think it definitely makes a big difference to kind of work with somebody who is able to kind of scale it up and really take advantage of a larger spaces.
So it's less about the Internet of Things and more Wi-Fi assistance.
It's cool.
Yeah. It's very much a similar play to Comcast and Spectrum. So Comcast and Spectrum launched mobile phone plans, and 80% of those networks are over their own Wi-Fi routers. Actually, it's kind of crazy. When you get Comcast service, they're using your router to provide cell phone service to their customers, and they don't really tell you that unless you go deep into the settings and turn it off. But yes, it's much more about the cellular play than it is the Internet of Things. Yep.
Hold on. Let's take a step back. Hold on, because I'm fascinated by this. So you guys are at Exxon. You're probably getting paid pretty well. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? I mean, right? Nice benefits, nice, cushy gig. And then you're just fuck this. We're going to go mine Ethereum, right? Is what you were mining at first?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And what, we just woke up one day and said it, or was this a plan?
No, sometimes life just comes at you fast. It just kind of happens. Not something that I necessarily expected. you know, as you guys, you guys don't know because you guys are running your own business, so you actually understand the other side of it. You know, kind of the excitement and the challenges of being an entrepreneur was something that I was drawn to. And you know, at the time at Exxon, kind of COVID and you know, oil stocks were not doing particularly well in 2020. You guys probably remember that pretty well as well. So it also didn't really feel like
out of the Dow.
Yeah, exactly. I know things have changed a little bit in the last 18 months, but yeah, we just saw the opportunity on our end. We were kind of felt like we were kind of on the frontier, kind of like the cowboys of something that was new. And I was in drilling and I worked in exploration, and the most exciting projects I worked on were the ones that were kind of the new ones, like the ones that were in the middle of nowhere. Nobody was there yet. You were like, you know, drilling the first well in a particular country. And so it kind of felt the same way. I wanted to be on the frontier of something new and exciting. And I think we're starting to see that pay off now.
And then so you were mining Ethereum and you're like, this isn't working. We're going to start mining helium. Like, how was that thought process?
Yeah, no, exactly. So one is that Ethereum was turning my garage into a sauna. So it was just like sucking up a bunch of energy, making my house really, really hot. And the appeal of helium was like, yeah, it's low power. And also you're providing a utility. And that's the funny thing now, like being in this space is like, maybe I'm in the boring crypto, like the utility crypto, which are like these infrastructure plays. But the idea of like not only you're quote unquote mining, so to speak, but you're actually providing something tangible in terms of like a benefit or a service to somebody as well was something that also appealed in that particular case. So I mean, also eventually Ethereum mining as we knew it in 2018 went away. Now they're a proof of stake or whatever. But yeah, that was a little bit of the reasoning there.
Can I ask you this? Just on the garage thing, I know Strazza's got questions for days. On the garage thing, you turn your garage into a sauna with Ethereum mining. With that in mind, I'm putting in a pool in my backyard as we speak, and my pool designer sends me the Bitcoin mining machine that heats your pool, right? And there's like a switch so you can turn it on or off. So like if it stops working, like you still have a pool heater, like it's not the end of the world. But he thinks that I can heat my pool the whole winter with the helium, with the if you want to throw up slide 2, this is Constellation Heating. Is my pool artist, who's like a closet degen, by the way, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Is he crazy and I should not do this, or do you think I should do this?
I think it will actually work. I don't know the economics of it, so I can't really tell you whether or not it's going to pay off or not. But
the good one is like $12,000.
This is really cool. As an engineer, I really like this. You're taking the waste heat from this device and using it to heat the pool. This is very environmentally friendly. I didn't know you were so ESG, JC.
I'm just like they call me Mr. ESG, you know.
Wait, JC, did you say you're pool artist? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what he's called. Pool artist.
That's his job title? Pool artist?
His website is like thepoolartist.com or something like that. Yeah, he's from New Jersey. Shout out New Jersey.
Man, I've never looked this up. I didn't realize people were going this far, but it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, like a pool artist. It's like an outdoor. It's just a fancy way to say like he's like the outdoor like backyard designer guy. Okay. You know, the lights and the speakers and the pool and like he's the guy. I don't know anything about backyards. What do I know? So you're saying you're giving me a thumbs up, Josh? Say do it.
Technologically, it'll work. That's all I'm saying. I'm the technical guy. I said technically it will work. You have to do the economics.
All right. He's very excited about it. Okay. So then moving on. So what other? Okay. So like, would you consider helium like a networking token? Is that what technically it is?
Yeah, wireless network. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And what other tokens would you include in that category?
Yeah, so I think there's sort of like a little bit of a palette of different projects that are kind of complementary. So helium is very popular. There are some competitors to helium, but then some of the more complementary things. There's like weather sensors, like WeatherXM. There's GeoNet, which has become a really popular one, which is also a different type of antenna to help build a network for high precision GPS. There's ones you can put on your car, Hive Mapper, kind of like decentralized Google Maps. Demo is one that's actually really passive. Demo is really, really easy. It's a car app that connects to the little connector on the bottom of your steering wheel. and kind of gives you data on your cars. So there's all kinds of like things. And so people are trying to almost like stack these together, because you can almost kind of have like a fully decentralized index of crypto projects that you have. It's kind of wild how much has changed in a couple years.
How much about the phone? What's the story with the phone mining while you're not using the phone? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, on the phone, actually, what's interesting is Helium Mobile specifically. They have a consumer phone plan that uses their network as well as T-Mobile's network to provide kind of the macro coverage to make sure you have coverage all the time. And they did have some options where you could turn on kind of mapping data that they could use to improve their network coverage, and they were offering tokens for that. And it's just something you could turn on in the background and earn that way.
Does it kill your battery? Probably, right?
When they first launched the app, it did, and I think it's gotten better. There are some other projects, like there's another new one that's about to launch called 375.ai, and those guys have an app that kind of complements their ecosystem as well, that is kind of measuring like, cell signals and other like sensor data that could be used and kind of monetized, but then you actually get paid for it. Versus like normally people are taking data from your phone all the time and you're not getting paid for any of it, right? So I think the idea is like you're opting into this, you're sharing data anonymously, and you're getting something for it, versus like Google's just taking everything from you.
So then at LongFi, as an investor, I'm very interested in knowing, what is it that you guys are mining other than Helium? Like, what's the big push of 2025? Where are you guys focused the most?
So Helium is definitely the main one. I think there was a press release yesterday, or there will be one today, about a partnership that they are doing with Telefonica in Mexico, that we've been building out infrastructure down in Mexico. That's going to be a big part of our plans. There are other projects that are emerging that are somewhat competitive, but it's collaborative. So like XNet, Carrier One, Wayru. Some of these are focusing on different geographic markets than Helium might be, where Helium is predominantly US and Mexico right now. In some cases, they may have slightly different technologies. I mentioned the 375 ones. That's a little bit of a different play, where they're collecting like kind of like license plates and like MAC addresses and things, and doing some computational stuff at the edge. But yeah, I think, to be honest, like Helium is the big one, and then there's a lot of like emerging ones that we're kind of evaluating and looking at as we go through 2025.
No more pollen mining? No more?
Yeah, unfortunately, pollen didn't work out. So there's been a few false starts on a couple projects. So pollen was one that was looking promising at one time, but unfortunately, they kind of when the FTX thing happened, they sort of got scared. But kind of a misfire on their part, because I think if they had stuck around, it really would have been in a good position right now. Any
other false starts like a pollen?
Man, that is one of the biggest ones. No, not too much. I mean, most of there's a few, like, I mean, these are super niche at this point. Like the MXC or MatchX was like kind of like an Internet of Things project that was popular in like 2018, 2019, that kind of went by the wayside. But a lot of them have kind of fought through the bear market and pivoted a little bit, or adjusted their go-to-market and hung in there. But yeah, no big ones on the utilities, on the kind of like utility crypto side.
What are you mining, like on a personal level, just as a human? Like, are you doing the phone thing? You got other things going?
Yeah, for sure. Because sometimes there are projects that are just easy or better as an individual that don't make sense as a business. So I mentioned two of them earlier, but Hivemapper and Demo are two of them. So Hivemapper is like this little dash cam you can put in your car. And they're building a decentralized kind of Google Maps. And then the other one is Demo, DIMO, which is one that you just stick into that the connector below your.
And you're mining both? You're doing both?
Yeah. And those ones are nice, because like,
how much money are you making? Like, is it worth it?
I mean, you're not going to become a millionaire doing them, but definitely it buys you a couple rounds of beers each month, and I don't have to really do a lot on those particular ones. Like the Demo one, you just plug it in and then you're good. And in some cases, they have like an app that they like tell you that, hey, here's a better insurance price, or like here's how much your car could be worth if you want to go sell it. So yeah, Demo and Hivemapper are really good on the individual level.
Dawson's asking if there's any other projects? Like these are two, so that helps answer that question. But anything else that like just individuals, like even if like you're not a hardcore degen, just like you're just like somebody who likes trading stocks, has a portfolio, might own some Bitcoin, but is looking to learn more about mining and get involved. It's not that complicated. How should people be thinking about that?
Yeah, and do you think that question is more in the vein of like purchasing tokens or participating, like putting a little hive map or dash cam in
Participating
your
in mining specifically.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess for sure the Debone Hive Mapper. There is another one I mentioned, 375. They haven't launched these products yet, but my understanding is the second half of the year they're going to have some products that are going to be pretty easy to put into like more like businesses. Now that we're talking, I know there are a couple of different types of compute projects or like decentralized VPNs. I know there was one, I can't remember the name off of hand, but there are a couple devices where you can install them like in your home, and it kind of like uses the unused bandwidth, or like you're able to kind of monetize the internet that when you're not using your internet and things like that. There are a couple like that, but I can't remember right offhand.
While we have you here, let's help the cause here. So you guys specifically are looking for people that have access to a lot of rooftops. Do I have that right? Can you explain exactly what you're looking for? And guys in the chat, if you're out there in internet land watching this, please contact me if you fit this description, and I will put you in touch with Josh. But Josh, can you do everybody a favor and explain exactly what you're looking for?
Yeah, so our business has evolved a little bit. We are interested in some rooftops, but a lot of this, now that the focus of Helium and other projects is on cellular connectivity, we're looking a lot at like indoor spaces. So we work with shopping centers, fast food restaurants, like bars, restaurants, retail, like event spaces where maybe you're not like, a 30,000 seat stadium, but like you're a 2,000 seat stadium and you have no cell service, during your events or whatever. So basically, like if you're a business that you have dead spots, or you notice that like connectivity is like bad in your business, the good part is like we can fix that. And then in some cases, the carriers or the projects will pay money for high demand areas, and there's like revenue that could be associated with improving the cell coverage in those businesses and retail locations. So it's more on the businessy type places, more so than like residential homes, because cell phone providers assume that when you're at home, you're on your home Wi-Fi network. So they don't necessarily pay for cell coverage in those areas.
And are you looking for single locations, or does it need to be like a restaurant chain that's got like 100 locations? Like how do you think about that?
I think we can work with all sizes. I mean, obviously the scale is better. Like we've had some luck working with folks who own like 4 or 5 restaurants. Like there's a couple groups that in a particular city will have like a kind of like more of like a local chain, so to speak, but not like a national chain. But I mean, honestly, like we're doing really well with a business owner down in Wynwood. They own a kind of like a retail clothing shop, and JC, Wynwood's like super busy area. And we see a lot of cell phone connectivity improvement in this particular shop, and we're seeing like a decent amount of revenue that's coming from improving the cell phone coverage at that little like clothing shop in Wynwood.
That's interesting. Yeah, when I was growing up, we didn't go there.
Yeah, better than me, but my understanding is it's changed a lot.
that was the hood, but it had like 2 or 3 furniture stores like in the middle of the hood. So like your parents would take you there like during the day on the weekend and get the hell out of there before sunset. And then just a couple of furniture stores turned into like this like art, it was just couches. And then, it just bloomed into this whole thing. And now, you got bars and restaurants and all kinds of stuff, but that was definitely not there when I was growing up. So that's really interesting. And then you mentioned the tokens. I love that you just like, forget the mining. Like you guys want to know about what tokens to look for. Now we're talking. So Josh, give us a heads up as to, maybe some of the tokens that rather than mining, we can go out there and perhaps look to buy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's kind of the interesting part about any of these projects. They all have a token associated with them. There's actually a big crypto conference going on right now. in Hong Kong. There's the Consensus Crypto Conference. So I wouldn't be surprised if today or tomorrow there's some big announcements that come out of that. But I'm not the chart guy, so I will defer to the chart expert, JC, in terms of trading those coins. But yeah, all these projects, they have coins. They're compared to 4 years ago, much easier to buy. A lot of the ones that we talked about today, you can get them on Coinbase or other Kraken or other exchanges. There's also if you're kind of into more of like a little bit, I would say degen is not the right word, but like there are decentralized exchanges where you can sometimes get access to tokens before they're listed on the centralized exchanges and things like that. A couple of projects that'll probably launch tokens later this year that we're kind of looking forward to seeing. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that any of them are purchasable.
So the answer is yes. I should install a Bitcoin mining operation to heat my pool. You're giving me the nod on this one.
I think I kind of am. That's the nice thing about being a miner is that you can just keep earning tokens from participating in the project. So you don't even necessarily have to purchase the tokens.
The way I look at it, 11, 12 grand, you know, if it heats the pool, you subtract the costs of what it would take to heat the pool, then you add whatever it is that you're mining plus the appreciation of those tokens, you know, break even like in 20 years, you know, maybe no.
Depends if we get a strategic Bitcoin reserve or not, I guess.
How much Bitcoin could I actually mine with this thing? Like, you think this thing is actually going to work?
I think you could mine some Bitcoin, but I agree that I don't know that it's going to be a lot of Bitcoin.
I mean, I used to mine Bitcoin with one of those, it was a little machine. I had it back in the day, like 10 years ago, 8 years ago. I was mining Bitcoin in CoinMine? Yeah, CoinMine. Remember that thing?
Okay. Oh man, there were so many of those. Yeah, there are all these little Bitcoin mining pools that you could.
Dude, it was loud as shit, and it was like it made all these lights. It was like this whole thing. It was when I lived in California. It was way back in the day.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I still have it somewhere. I'm gonna find it. I have it somewhere around here. It's definitely not plugged in. All right, Josh. So, guys, email me if you are one of these people who just happen to have a storefront or a restaurant or mall or a 2,000 person stadium. If you are one of those people who has one of those and are looking to improve your coverage and maybe make some money on the side as well, it sounds like a pretty good combination. Josh is your guy, former engineer at ExxonMobil, and said, see ya, I'm going to go mine cryptocurrencies. What could go wrong? Right?
I appreciate that, JC.
You got it, Josh. I'm going to send an email as well soon telling the folks, what we're looking for. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. It was an honor to be on the show.
No, it's great. We have so many questions and you just have all the answers always. Like, we have so many questions and we don't know anything. So this is great. We got to have you back because shit changes like fast. Like the fact that we're not mining pollen anymore is like a heartbreak. And you're like, dude, we haven't been mining that in a long time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. 1 year in crypto is 10 years in real life. It's crazy.
Wow. That's a quote of the day right there. 1 year in crypto is 10 years in real life. Great quote. Josh Heller, thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Talk soon.
Adios. Josh Heller. That was great. Right? What do you think, Spencer?
I learned a lot. Probably my favorite fun fact that I want to now share at parties is that many oil and gas people just left and now they mine crypto.
I learned that today too.
Yeah.
I learned that today too. That's fascinating. But I guess I can see why, because like they're out there drilling, looking for stuff, and they're like, you're making things out of nothing, right? And they're going in there and they're digging holes.
I think many I'm just imagining the internal monologue. Oil and gas, man, it's so damn cyclical. I need something more stable. I know. I'm gonna go into cryptocurrency mining.
Yeah.
That seems like it's more stable than oil and gas for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think he said it, Spencer, like he wants to be at the forefront of this new frontier.
Right.
He wants to be on the new thing. Have you guys been watching Landman though? Drilling is in.
No, I heard it's great though.
I hear it's
good,
a great
right?
show. Yeah.
Solid. If you like Yellowstone, you probably like Landman kind of thing.
It's the same dude.
No.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Kevin Costner's not in it.
No, the guy that making it, bro.
Taylor, what's his name?
Is it really? No
Yeah.
shit. And now
Does it
Kevin
make
Costner's
sense
like,
since you've been watching it? It makes sense. The same guy.
yeah, it's very similar.
Taylor
It's-
Sheridan.
It's a good time. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Anyway,
You guys
right.
like that conversation? They'll mix it up a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Bring in an engineer instead of another technician.
We got to mix it up more often. That was fun. That was fun.
That was good, right? I thought that was good.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to have him on. He's got he always has answers, and we always have questions, right?
Yeah.
Like he should have like a regular segment once a quarter where we bring in Josh Heller and then we just like drill him with questions. Like, do I need a Bitcoin miner heating my pool? What do I do with this helium
I don't believe
miner
it.
from 5 years ago?
I hope you try it.
I hope
I'm
you try it.
taking the under
I hope you
on,
try
on
it
the,
too.
on the pool heater.
So first of all, for the record, my pool design guy is the one who brought it to my attention.
The artist.
It doesn't mean it's a good idea. Doesn't make it a good idea. I don't know. Find out.
Well, it has a switch, so I have a regular heater in my pool also, and the Bitcoin miner. So I can, if it doesn't work, I could just turn.
He is a professional. Don't question the pool artist. He's a professional. He knows.
Got it.
You don't know. You're not a professional.
I don't think he knows either. I just think he's going to try it, and I'm going to be the guinea pig, and then he's going to go tell all his other clients, like, "Yo, I got this schmuck to install the Bitcoin miner in the pool."
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
All right. It's 9:34. By the way, back to the Walmart conversation for a second. Jeff Mackey just sent out an email. His thoughts on Walmart. He gave it a B+. I'll just summarize his takeaways here.
Oh, here it is.
From
Walmart
the
stock is getting smacked.
Yeah. So if I wasn't this is from Jeff Mackey's post this morning. If I wasn't long Walmart already, I'd likely be buying this dip. As is, I'm okay with the sell-off. Walmart is coming off its 7th best year for the stock in its 55-year public history. Those returns have tended to cluster rather than reverse, meaning I'm not overly worried about regression. And B, a pause here is just fine. So yeah, Jeff, listen to the call, read through the report, and he likes it. So I'm inclined to defer. I'm inclined to defer to him.
Told you the report was good.
You did.
It's a solid report.
Anyway,
stock.
do we want to mention the non-event that was Apple's new product announcement yesterday?
They don't make any money off of these cheap phones.
Exactly.
So it doesn't move the needle for them.
That's right.
Fun announcement. Doesn't matter.
I don't understand what happened.
They unveiled the new version of their budget iPhone. It's the iPhone 16e, right? Is that what they called it? Yeah. And the big difference is that it has Apple's chip in it, not
they give you the watered down China chips.
not Qualcomm. This is an Apple chip. Not that any of us really care about that, right? I'm sure Apple cares a lot, but
I need a new phone. My phone is so on the fritz.
I also need.
I can't even charge it anymore. Like I'm charging my phone on one of these base things because I can't even plug it in.
I have an iPhone 12, I think.
What's the deal? I haven't bought an iPhone in 3 years since last time my phone was on the fritz. Like it's been exactly 3 years. So what do I do? What number are we on? 18?
No, we're on 16.
Get the nice new 16.
One. And then, so is it one of those things? Because like I heard like people like, oh, the new one, it's all screwed up. Is that like fixed now?
It wasn't like it was screwed up. It was that they weren't. They were like deploying the AI stuff like on a rolling basis. It wasn't like the people that got the newest iPhone when it went on sale. They didn't get all the new AI stuff right off the bat.
It's good now, though.
It's there now. I've got some friends.
Well, there different types of 16, or do I just get? Is it a regular 16, or is there like a better one I should get? How does that work?
there's the SE, or I guess the E now. Then there's the base, and then there's like the Pro or the Max, whatever it's called.
What's the difference? Is it just memory, or is it speed? How does that work?
Yeah, it's more computing power. It's more memory. There's probably some more AI features.
I should pony up and get the best one then.
Just go to the store, man. Just go to the store and ask the genius people.
Pro Max? Alfonso says the Pro Max.
Yeah, there we go. The Pro Max.
Yeah, Alfonso, that's the best one? All right. They got a lot of Apple stores in Venezuela? Or do you order it online? How does that work?
I'm sure they have Apple stores everywhere, JC.
He says no.
Okay.
He says he bought it in New York. Nice.
Bought in New York. That's funny.
I would like to talk about Hot Corner.
Yes. Let's do that quickly, and then I'm going to bring Sean on.
Nice.
All right.
corner. Biotech, a lot of big buys in the bios, big bio buys today. Really rounding out top 3 slots are the biggest insider, most material insider buys, Form 4s today. Throw up the table, please. I don't know if we have the charts. Can we throw up the hot corner table though?
Yes, 1 second.
All right, ATI Life Sciences. This was a Perion investment group. Never heard of them, but it's a big buy, 22.5 million. Resolute, RZLT. I like the way this base is shaping up. This is a $5 million buy from a director. Stands out. Appfolio stands out too. Probably not a top. Been watching this one. But the last biotech on the list that I think is interesting is Solid Biosciences, SLDB. That's Adage Capital Management. They're pretty active in the biotech space. $2 million Form 4 filing. We pay attention when we see institutions and corporate insiders. In the case, this was one corporate insider as well as an institution, right? Resolute, that's a director. When we see these guys come out, the smart money, the big money, and put it to work in the same industry group, right, over and over and over again, it really stands out. We saw it with the banks last year. I think we're seeing it with the biotech, starting to see it with the biotechs now. We've seen it in oil and gas before. Some industry groups lend themselves to insider buying more than others. For example, it's rare to see, insider buying in a lot of these startup tech companies, especially the recent IPOs, because everybody has shares. They're trying to sell shares, not buy them. So you have to kind of think of each industry and sector differently, but you get them. And biotech is always a big one. I think it's information right now that we're getting all these bullish insider filings on the bios. Another one that stands out before we wrap this up is Uncle Carl. Back at it. Spencer loves this one. So Uncle Carl, original filing came in just under 10%. Real shocker. Original 13D, 9.5%.
I would just say that he's been awfully quiet the last 4 or 5 years, right? He hasn't been doing a lot.
Nice base here. Nice base.
So it's good to see his name, honestly.
Stock not really moving on it, but I don't know. JetBlue above 8, have at it. It's not for me. A lot of times these value guys, they buy really junky stocks. They're looking to do a deal. What's the news here? I heard yesterday, JetBlue, they're still looking to do some sort of a merger. I'm sure his bull thesis has something to do with that. So that's it. That's what stood out.
Throw up the table, Spencer.
Mm-hmm. The Bruker.
By the way, guys, should mention that the link to get the hot corner, this goes out for free every day. It's in the description on YouTube. Just click on in the description and it says more. Get the hot corner. It's right there. Every day around 8:30 this goes out and takes 10 seconds to read. So
yeah, it's great.
Throw up the beat sheet. Let's just look at the beat sheet quick.
What do we got here? Well, what's on the beat report today?
Got some dips. We got some rips. This is from yesterday's price action. The one that really stands out. I mean, man, this Garmin, what a business, huh? See the Garmin chart? Coming off their best earnings reaction of all time. I'm telling you, a lot of this is a golf story. Have you heard about the mega trend in golf?
I always confuse Garmin and GoPro for some reason. I don't know why I do that in my head.
Well, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
GoPro was a fad. Garmin's been around forever. And they do a ton of boat stuff too.
Yeah. We talked about
boats and golf. What a fun stock to invest in. Boats and golf. Huh? Both of them down here where I live.
Yeah,
I think it's I was gonna say where Strazza is in Florida. A lot of boats, a lot of golf. What isn't it more golf than boat or
no? It's both.
It's both.
It's the same type of equipment, right? It's like tracking, right? GPS.
It's super cool. Hold on, Sam did a killer write up on this as always. You could drop a link to it in the chat for everybody to see. But they're growing revenues 30% year over year, and he kind of describes what's going on with the golf devices and gadgets. So it's a variety of fitness smartwatches. You wear them on your wrist, but you can also put them onto the cart, and then it'll sit there and give you your information. A lot of them play music too. I think they probably make those as well. So it's like having a caddy on your wrist. They programmed almost every golf course in the world into the device. It shows golfers various things like distance to the green, hazards, dog legs. They embed swing tracking technology. It analyzes your swing speed, your tempo, your club path, all that jazz. And then you can go back and it like has that data and it helps you improve and it helps you like pick clubs for the next shot and stuff. Like it's really good. If you golf often, everybody's doing this. You kind of have to. You need some sort of app. And a lot of people are wearing the watches now. And Garmin's really leading that. So it's pretty cool. It's a nice growth story.
Gotta have an app. Everything has an app. Everything in our life has an app.
Everybody's golfing. It's a bull market.
Gotta have an app. All right. Anything else from the beat report? By the way, guys, if you want to get the beat report, it's our newest thing that we are experimenting with. It goes out for free. It's looking at not the earnings, but the reaction to the earnings.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop a link in chat right now. There it is, right there.
Did you throw up the table? Sorry, I was looking at charts.
Bada bing, bada boom. We do have the table. We do have it. Yes.
You have the beat sheet up there. It's just such a pretty table. So look at the reaction score from the Garmin. That's big. That's big. Blue is good.
Yeah. All right, let's Sean. Sean is gonna he's going out of town next week, so be missing.
He's going to Jamaica, man. Everybody's going on vacation. Where should we go, Spencer?
Where should Sean's gonna be smoking that shit down there.
Well, actually, you know what's funny? I was going to say this for recess, but I'll bring it up now. JC's going to Florida tomorrow, right?
I may or may not be going to the state of Florida.
Right. I'm also going to Florida tomorrow, JC.
Ooh.
So I didn't tell anyone. I'm also going just for the weekend.
If I see you walking on the beach, can we rub bellies together? Like do one of those belly bumps?
Sure.
You know?
I'll meet you there.
I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for JC. Anyway, Sean,
that's crazy. Guys, we're all going to be in Florida.
Yes.
Oh, so many Florida men.
All right.
Speaking of bull markets.
Baby moon? Is this your baby moon?
No, this is not that. I'm bringing Sean on.
Johnny baby.
I would love nothing more than to come across Spencer and JC rubbing bellies on the beach. I would love nothing more.
It's not so much. It's not so much rubbing bellies as it is kind of like a high five with.
I'm not going to the beach. Just so clear, I'm not going to the beach.
Only going. I'm not leaving the beach. Me personally. Have you seen this pasty? Well, I'm Cuban, bro. Yeah. Look at this.
I love that for you. I love that for you. Get some color. Get a facial. Take care of yourself. You deserve.
I know.
I too will not be leaving the beach for 1 week straight.
Do you see this when you tell somebody you're going to Florida, then somebody else wants to go to Florida. Everybody's coming to Florida. It's such a bull market down here. I was telling the guys about maybe going to Miami next month. Now I think Pat's coming to Miami. I think Fonz is coming to Miami. Like everybody just wants to be in Florida. I get it.
Oh, it's February, so
it's cold as shit everywhere else, Strazza.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
good place to be this time of year. Shawnee, like, it's just you and the wife, or you're bringing the kid?
I'm bringing the kid, and I'm meeting my wife and her kids, my nephews. It's a whole family.
Oh, you're meeting your wife and her kids.
No, my sister. Did I say that wrong? Sorry. I'm meeting my wife and my kid and my sister and her kids all on the beach in Jamaica. Yes.
Where in Jamaica are you going?
Montego Bay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, whoever can make the best AI image of JC and Spencer rubbing bellies on the beach wins.
I'll send you a T-shirt. How about that? If someone sends DM us or whatever,
please. By the way, I wanted to chime in on the Apple phone conversation, JC. You don't need the best Apple iPhone. What you need is a whole box of burner phones. That's what you need. You're a burner phone kind of guy.
Burner phone?
Yep. I know what you're doing down there in Florida. You're doing some sketchy shit. You need a burner phone.
I feel like I'm like not smart enough to do sketchy shit with burner phones. Like I feel like that's above my pay grade. What do we use a burner phone for? Is like drug deals and stuff like that?
When you don't want to be tracked by the man, whoever the man is.
Yeah, I'm good with them tracking me. It's not that exciting.
You think Palantir's tracking you? Do you think Palantir's watching you?
I hope they are. Like learn everything about me so you can just make my life easier. Like I'm good with that. You know how like some people are like, like they installed cameras like in our neighborhood, like just for security purposes, and people are like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right,
let's go to Asia. Go to Asia, right, Sean?
What's that?
Go to Asia.
Yeah, go to Asia. Asia's great.
No, I mean the cameras. You go through the airports there. You don't even need to like check in. They already know who you are. They're watching you the whole time. It's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, there's cameras
Just walk
everywhere.
right through.
Yeah.
Sean, what do we got here?
All right, so let's talk some real stuff here for a sec.
Talking real stuff. What are you talking about? We're always
first
talking
off,
real stuff.
I love coming on right after the beat report because I am definitely riding the wave of enjoying some earnings pops. And, you know, I had this thought this morning as I was kind of setting up and looking at some of my earnings trades that are kicking ass today, like Baba, for example. And I was trying to think back, guys, and maybe you can help me with this, but can you ever remember a time, bullishly or bearishly, where an earnings report either marked the very top of a trend or the very bottom of a trend? Can you remember that ever happening?
Yes.
You can?
It's more so the bottom than the top. Like,
Okay.
like shit show, miss, rally. Like
Well,
more so than a top, right? Strazza, would you agree with that?
If you go back to 2021, you saw them. They just got blown out, and they were out just blow off candles. You get it sometimes. I think it depends on like where in the cycle you are.
Well, I'm asking this question because I was having a conversation with one of my subscribers yesterday because I put a trade on in Alibaba very recently. I think I put it on Tuesday, and I put it on knowing fully well that the stock was very extended, and we had earnings coming up. Okay, and you know, he was asking me very poignant questions and good questions. He was saying, you know, the thing's rallied so much. Why would you want us get into it now? And my answer was that, do you think that earnings are going to reverse this trend? Like, is that it? Is the earnings? I mean, it could, certainly it could, but we see it all the time. We talk about it all the time. When stocks are in really well-defined trends, if there's any type of earnings reaction that's a surprise, a quote unquote surprise, it generally tends to be in the direction of the underlying trend. So why wouldn't you want to trade in that direction? And so, you know, we kind of had like a friendly debate about it back and forth. I don't think anyone's minds were changed, but, but you know, it just got me thinking like, yeah, I can't remember a time, certainly on the upside, on a stock that's been trending higher. I can't remember a earnings report being the pivot point that turned the trend, that ended the trend. I mean, you know,
that kind of stuff doesn't stand out in my mind when I think back either. But what does is when I go back in bull markets and analyze like the performance in my trading account at the end of the year, it ends up being the case that, again, in bull markets, a lot of the best trades, you go back and you look at it and say, oh, that one blew out on earnings and ended up being like a huge winner because of some big earnings report. Earnings end up being the catalysts for huge winners.
Right. So
that's what I remember.
And so I'm bringing all this back up to tie it into the fact that, you know, a lot of people, there's a common wisdom out there, or maybe wisdom's not the right word, but there's a common thought amongst traders out there that nobody likes to position ahead of earnings. And if you're a stock trader, I understand that. I get that. You know, you could place a stop loss order and earnings come out and the stock gaps 30% below your stop and you're screwed, right? Nothing you can do on that. So I get it if you're a stock trader. But as an options trader with the ability to craft spreads and put on defined risks, why not take a shot on stocks that have earnings, especially stocks that are trending well heading into an earnings event? I'm making a concerted effort, Steve, to do more of this. You know, we're already at the tail end of earnings season now, but going forward in future earnings seasons, I want to do more of these trades because they continue to work for me, Steve, and they work very, very well.
I love it. We've even gotten bailed out on some of our breakout multiplier positions that look like they were zeros. Then you get like a big earnings report. Solar Edge just the other day. So bull markets are great. How are you going to do it? You're just going to kind of long call.
Well, it depends. It depends. I mean, every situation's unique, and it'll depend on the volatility situation. Generally speaking, volatility is going to be high. That's usually the case. Not always the case, but usually the case. But I'll take it on a case-by-case basis. But either way, it's going to be defined risk, right? I'm either going to buy just a straight long call or long put, or some kind of vertical spread where I know my max risk and I'm comfortable with it. And that's the key. That's the key right there, is a defined risk.
Talk about what we did with the Baba.
So Baba, you and I on the Flow Show on Tuesday, we talked through it, and you know, you and I were not fully in agreement on this trade. I think you were waiting for a pullback, and understandably so.
Not getting it.
Yeah, understandably so. But I said it, and I put the disclaimer in the blog post when I published. I said, this is a hard trade and it's not for everyone. And if you don't want to do it, that's okay. But I'm doing it. But yeah, we talked about, we did a bull call spread. Why did we do a bull call spread? Well, for two reasons. Number one, it's a relatively higher price stock, and the premiums in the calls were expensive. And number two, the volatility was high because of the earnings event that was coming up. So we wanted to sell the out of the money calls to help lower the cost of participation in the trade. And hey, so far so good. I mean, it's too early to call it a winner yet, Strazza, but we're off to a great start.
This thing looks so good. We're up 14% out here today.
Yeah.
What a move.
And look, I want to give a shout out, if you don't mind, and to Spencer, if you're listening. You know, this coming week, you guys mentioned I'm going on vacation next week, so I'm not going to be here at the trading desk, but I'll be still checking in. I got positions on. I'll be updating members of any adjustments we make to any trades we have on. But I want to let you guys know that next week, if you're not subscribed to my free options e-letter, get subscribed. Spencer just put the link in the chat there. I'm going to be publishing every day next week a detailed lesson about all the different option strategies, not all the different option strategies, but many of the option strategies that I use, many of my favorite ones,
Nice.
getting into how I use them, what the setup is I'm looking for when I use them, how I manage them once they're on, all that good stuff. So when I say things like iron condor or short strangle, if you hear words like that and it makes your head spin and you're like, what the hell is he talking about, then next week is for you. We're going to get into the details of all those strategies. So please do me a favor, do yourself a favor, sign up for the newsletter. It's free, and you're going to get a lot of great wisdom from my 26 years in options trading.
That's great. There's nobody better to learn options from than you, my friend. And I hope you have a great vacation. I hope you get to relax a little bit.
I'm telling you, man, where I live here in Colorado for the last 3 weeks, it's been really cold. We've had highs of 0, highs of 5, highs of 10. This vacation could not come at a better time. This is great.
That's awesome. All you guys getting out of the cold. Look at you guys.
The one thing I remember about Jamaica, Sean, is all the drivers, taxi, they always say, no problems, only situations. There's no problems in Jamaica. There's only situations. So,
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to situations.
Yeah, situations.
I've only been to Jamaica once, and we were taking a cab. We were in the grill, I think. And the cab driver from the airport was like, "You want some weed, man?" Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, I want some weed." So he took us to like some random neighborhood in some random house, and he like leaves us in the driveway, and he goes in, and he was in there for a long time. I don't know what was going on. Then he comes out with a bag of weed. Here you go, man. Oh, thank you. No problem, man.
Yeah. CJC, the cab drivers in Jamaica even know that you look like a guy who should have some burner phones.
This was like, I was like in my mid-20s. It was pretty sketchy. I would not recommend that at all. Same thing happened in the Bahamas once. Again, I would not recommend doing that. In hindsight, that was a bad idea. But
happened to me at St. Thomas. Big business out there.
They know what the Americans want. They're no dummies.
Yeah.
They're not. All right, let's do some recess.
Sketchy, though.
Let's do recess and get out of here.
All right. All right, Shawnee, baby, what do you got?
All right, let's take it a whole 180 degrees away from Jamaica, and let's go the other way. Let's head north. Guys, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but tonight we got USA Canada in the Four Nations face-off final happening tonight. And I don't know if you guys saw the first game between USA and Canada, but it was rowdy, and it's going to be fun.
Didn't we kick their ass?
This is going to be my recess too, Sean.
So for those who don't know, and I'm guessing JC doesn't know because he's not a hockey guy, even though you do go to minor league hockey, so good on you for that.
I was at a minor league hockey on Sunday. It was awesome.
I know, great. So when USA and Canada played the other night in Montreal, before the game started, they did the national anthems. And guys, when they played the U.S. national anthem for the first time ever in the country of Canada, they booed the entire time the anthem was saying, which is fine. I have no problem with that.
But were they booing it because they don't want to be the 51st state, or they just booing it because they were playing against the U.S.?
No, it was the first thing, JC.
It was the political.
It had nothing to do with hockey. But you know what? Here's what happened. I didn't mind it. Whatever, fine. You could do what you want. But you know who did not like it? The USA hockey players. And when they dropped the puck in that game, fights began immediately. And there were 3 fights before 9 seconds had completed in that game. It was awesome. As an old-time, Rock'em Sock'em hockey fan, I loved it. It was fantastic. And the game was great. USA crushed them. I think the score was 5-1 or 4-1. And now tonight they play in Boston, back in the US.
Wow.
I expect
Are they going to boo the Canadian national anthem?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think we need to, but if we do, whatever.
They're Boston people. They're,
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
They get a little too much free gaming, and then
listen, I haven't
What time is the game? What time is the game, Sean?
The game starts at 8 Eastern. And I haven't been this excited about hockey in a long time. So I can't wait.
I'm just trying to look up how much tickets are. This is going to be the biggest hockey game probably in a long time, in America. Y'all should watch it. It's going to be wildly entertaining.
Yeah.
The U.S. does have some injuries, so be mindful of that. But this is like an all-star team of Americans and an all-star team of Canadians playing for basically national pride at this point. And you can kind of thank Trump for helping that jack it up a little bit, right? So, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be like a 1-game Stanley Cup final. It's going to be wild.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Dude, I love it. I love that Kevin Durant is just like telling everybody how much better hockey is than basketball. Like I find that whole thing hysterical.
Listen, I'm not going to pick sides on that.
Charles Barkley's been saying that forever.
I won't pick sides on that, but I will say that when it comes to international play, like international basketball, nobody gives a shit. But international hockey, goodness. It's real, man. It's real.
Okay, I just looked. 2 tickets for tonight's game. I'm on SeatGeek. The cheapest price, $1,200 each.
Wow.
And they're probably in the top
cheapest ticket. And like
$1,200 a piece.
Yeah. You guys, whether you're a hockey fan or not, tune in tonight. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I'm speaking at Fordham University in New York City on March.
Shout out Jay Woods.
Shout out Jay Woods. Yep. So Jay Woods is a professor at Fordham, and he asked me to be a guest speaker. So I'm going to be speaking on March the 5th, and their MBA program is actually in Lincoln Center, so I don't have to go up to the Bronx. So that's cool.
Nice.
And that night, the Rangers play the Capitals. So we're going to go to the Rangers game after, we're going to do the thing. And he says he drinks with the students. Like, that's like a thing. I guess that's like in the MBA program, like that they just boost during
graduate school, right? It's
man, I missed the graduate school thing. I would if I knew that, I probably would have gone.
I had a college professor who used to come to our house parties.
Yeah, dude. That's a little weird, Sean.
That's a little weird. All right.
We had a girl that worked at SAC. I've asked Strazza about her, and she would she would pick up the professor at the train station, drop him off after. I don't know what was going on there.
All right.
Well, Strazza, it's funny that you said that. That's kind of sketchy because it was sketchy. The guy was a great guy, but he would always hit on the hottest girls at our parties.
Yeah, it's
always.
Yeah, too far.
I can't believe it.
Wonderful. All right. Options jam session with Sean at noon. Chart request live at 1. Breakout multiplier people. You'll get Steve in an hour. A lot to talk about in this week's video, I'm sure. And that is the plan. So thank you to Josh for hanging out. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, chat. Smash the like. Subscribe to the channel. Check out all of the links to all of the things that we dropped in the chat, in the description. This Sean's free options note, the beat report, the hot corner, all the things. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right.
And shout out to the Hawktuya breaking out here today. Just announced a new partnership with the DeepSeek.
You're talking about HUYA?
No, Hawktuya. TUYA. Leaders in pet health AI.
Wonderful.
Dropping the mic there. Excuse me, pet health AI. Like we're all supposed to know that that's a thing.
My fault.
Come on, Spencer. You don't know about pet health AI?
No.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then I go